I never thought my past as a Navy SEAL would matter in a quiet suburban neighborhood, but one afternoon it all came roaring back in the ugliest way imaginable. 3 men in tactical vests stormed my property posing as cops enforcing HOA rules, and then one of them made the biggest mistake of his life. He slapped my wife Sarah. By the end of that day, their faces didn't look anything like when they arrived. It started that morning when Sarah went outside to water the garden and noticed a black SUV circling the block once, twice, 3 times before it stopped across the street. 3 men stepped out wearing dark tactical vests with shiny police patches that looked official at first glance, but Sarah spotted the details. Cheap nylon belts, plastic holsters, no radios. Real officers don't show up without comms. The tallest one walked straight toward our yard and barked, "Ma'am, HOA compliance inspection," flashing a badge that looked like it came from a toy aisle. Sarah didn't flinch. "Since when does the HOA hire police officers?" she asked. That's when the second guy smirked and said, "We're not hired, lady. We are the law here." Sarah told them to leave, reminding them that trespassing without cause is a crime, but the third one stepped forward with his hand on a fake baton. When Sarah pulled out her phone to record them, he slapped it from her hand and then slapped her across the face. That's when I walked out. I had been in the garage sorting old gear when I heard her yell and saw Sarah clutching her cheek while these clowns puffed their chests like wannabe SWAT. Everything in me shifted from neighborly patience to combat mode. I walked up and said, "You boys picked the wrong house. You've got 5 seconds to tell me who sent you." The leader smirked. "The HOA president says you've been ignoring notices. We're here to make sure you comply." He tried to stare me down, but I've stared down warlords and mercenaries. Suburban posers don't even register. "Sarah, go inside and lock the door," I said. She knew what was coming. I stepped closer and said in a low voice, "Touch my wife again and you won't be walking out of here." They laughed, but it cracked when I asked for identification. Real cops identify themselves. They refused. That's when I knew they weren't just trespassing, they were committing a felony by impersonating officers. The gloves came off. I squared up, feet planted, shoulders forward, the same stance I used when things were about to turn violent overseas. They felt it. Their laughter died. The leader jabbed a finger at me. "You think you can ignore HOA rules? We warned you about your truck, your fence, your dogs." I cut him off, calm but sharp. "My truck's legal. My fence is to code. Those dogs are service animals protected by law." I stepped closer, forcing him back a step. "You're trespassing and impersonating officers. 10 years in prison if you're lucky." The short one tried to act tough. "You can't threaten us. We'll cuff you right here." He reached for toy-grade cuffs that wouldn't hold a teenager, and that was it. I moved fast. My left hand grabbed his wrist and twisted until the cuffs clattered to the ground and my right elbow connected with his jaw in a clean strike. He dropped instantly. The second guy lunged, swinging his baton. I sidestepped, caught his arm mid-swing, and flipped him over my shoulder. He landed hard on the concrete with a sound that turned the neighbors silent. The leader froze and shouted, "You're assaulting officers!" I stepped so close he could feel my breath. "No. I'm stopping 3 criminals from assaulting my wife." Sarah reappeared at the door, holding her phone up this time. "Already called the sheriff," she yelled. The leader panicked and bolted for the SUV, but I grabbed the back of his vest, yanked him off balance, and pinned him against the hood. He struggled but had no training, just fake bravado. By the time real deputies arrived, 2 of the fakes were groaning on the lawn, and the third was face down on the SUV with my knee in his back. Guns drawn, the deputies shouted, "Hands where we can see them!" I raised mine immediately and stepped back while Sarah pointed at the 3 impostors. "Those are the guys. They hit me. They claimed to be cops." The deputies cuffed them for real, ripped off their fake vests, and within minutes the truth spilled out. The leader cracked first. The HOA president paid them cash to teach us a lesson. That's when I realized this wasn't just harassment, it was a conspiracy. At the station, their fake uniforms were bagged as evidence, and under questioning they admitted everything. The HOA president, Karen Ellis, hired them to rough me up and scare Sarah into compliance. When deputies asked if I wanted to press charges, I didn't hesitate. Absolutely. Impersonating officers and assaulting my wife? They're done. Karen wasn't finished, though. That same day she filed a lawsuit claiming I used excessive force and damaged the HOA's reputation. My lawyer laughed when he saw it. "This is a gift," he said. "We'll countersue for harassment, assault, and conspiracy. You've got video." She's finished. Court day came. Karen sat smug in her blazer while Sarah held my hand calm and steady. The judge didn't waste time. The HOA's argument collapsed the moment Sarah's video played. Every word, every fake badge, every hit, on a big screen in front of the courtroom. The judge leaned back. "These men are criminals. And you, Mrs. Ellis, hired them. Your lawsuit is dismissed. And you're sanctioned for abuse of the legal system." Our lawyer stood. "Your Honor, we're filing a counterclaim today." Karen's face drained of color. Her empire crumbled in real time. The judge ruled her personally liable for damages. HOA board members wouldn't even look at her as they left. The three impostors, held without bail on multiple felonies. As the sheriff shook my hand, he said, "Good thing you kept your cool. Most folks would have frozen. You probably saved your wife from something much worse." I nodded, holding Sarah close. Karen thought she could control us with fear. Instead, she lost everything.